Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Meg, and it has been a while since I have sat down and made a video. Life has been really busy for me, as it is for most of us, but I wanted to talk about this because it's been so interesting and new to my life. I never thought I would do this, but judging by the title, you can already guess what this video is going to be about. And if you clicked on it, you're either curious about this way of eating, you have no idea what it is, or you've started the carnivore diet and are just struggling with it a little bit. I am over a week into this way of eating, and I just want to let you guys know I don't plan on eating this way for the rest of my life. For me and my husband, this was just meant to be like a 21 to 30 day period where we're kind of resetting our body and then going to reintroduce foods back into our diet to see if there's anything we're intolerant to or anything that could be causing, for me, hormonal issues. And that's really the main reason why I started doing it. Not because my levels were super off in any of the main hormones for females like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, but mainly because I was still struggling with some hormonal acne around my jaw, and it definitely wasn't as bad as it was a couple years ago, but I did use tretinoin, and I want to get off of that. I want to be completely natural and heal my body from the inside out and not try to start from the outside in. And I felt like tretinoin was almost like a band-aid. Even though it really was effective for me, I still felt like there was something going on and I wanted to figure out what it was. That leads me to my first tip in starting the carnivore diet, is to know your purpose. I already mentioned mine before. It's been a little bit harder for my husband because he's just mainly doing it to support me, and I do most of the cooking, so it definitely wasn't something I forced on him, but he just felt like it was easier. And my husband is just that kind of person. He wants to do it with me even if he is struggling. He's mentioned to me that's been the most difficult for him, is that he feels like he doesn't have as clear of a purpose because he didn't really have any like underlying issues before starting this diet. And the second tip I would say is to have somebody that you can talk to, whether it's a group on Facebook, Instagram, a group of like-minded people that are kind of in the same place, but maybe have people in that group that are further along the line than you that can really encourage you and help you know if what you're experiencing is normal for this type of diet. That way, you know, when you are having those moments of like, okay, is this okay for my body? Is this healthy? I'm experiencing these side effects from doing this. You have someone to kind of bounce ideas back and forth with. And for my husband and I, we have a nutrition coach at our gym that she's been carnivore, I think, for almost 2 years now, and actually cured her diagnosis of cancer through the carnivore diet. I realized that everybody has a different thing that they feel led to do. You don't have to do it this way, but she's essentially like a carnivore coach, and she has been amazing. We would not have been able to do this without her because we really were starting from square one. And to us, a month ago, this sounded crazy. Like the idea of just eating meat and fat, which I want to emphasize, make sure your meat is local. We buy all of our meat from a local farmer here in town that we can actually go to their farm, see how they're treating their cows, see what they're feeding their cows, so we know what we're actually eating. And if we do need something that we can't buy at the farmer's market, we usually go to Costco or we go to Sprouts because they tend to have a little bit more higher quality options. We're not just consuming like fast food burgers and cheese and all this greasy stuff. We are having the best of the best, and that even comes with our fat sources as well. We're having grass-fed butter that our food is cooked in. We're either having tallow, ghee, or for a little bit we did coconut oil to help bring our bodies into ketosis a little bit faster. The next tip would be to know the science and know the research, because if you just start the carnivore diet because it's trendy, which I don't really think it's that trendy because most people I talk to haven't heard of it, or you're just doing it because somebody else did it and they lost weight, I feel like that wouldn't be enough to carry me through something. I am the type of person that I really want to know things. I want to get to the bottom of them. I want to see the evidence. So I'm going to list a link of a bunch of resources for you guys that I listened to, that I read through before I even did this, to make sure that it was right for me, that it was safe. As a lot of you guys know, and in my previous videos, 5 years or so ago, I did have a history of eating disorders, and for 5 years I have been free of that. I've had a healthy relationship with food and exercise, and I did not want to relapse. So I really did pray and thoughtfully considered doing this. I also wasn't going into this with like, I'm gonna eat like this forever. It was merely just a short period of time to try to see what was going on in my body. The next tip is to pause working out. If you're someone who's really active like myself, I have an active job and I also lift weights on a regular basis. Take a break from that, because your body is going to be going through a lot adapting from using carbs as energy to using fat as energy. When your body starts going into ketosis, a lot of people have what they call keto flu or carnivore flu, which I did have on the second day pretty bad. I had a lot of nausea, and honestly the first 4 or 5 days of doing this, pretty much lost my appetite because I was so satiated by the foods we were eating. I didn't want to put extra stress on my body to go and burn more calories than what I was already burning. I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna rest, and whenever I feel completely better and I have my energy back, then I'll add another variable in. I did not start working out until the 5th or 6th day into this, and it was like a short 30-minute workout, a lot lighter weights. I just listened to my body, and I feel like I really wasn't able to get in a normal workout for myself until day 8 or so. Again, everybody is going to be different. You may feel fine, you may not have any adverse side effects from starting this, but if you do feel the slightest bit fatigued or just nauseated, consider taking a break from exercise. Leading into the next tip, which is to make sure that you're getting enough electrolytes. Most people, once they're adapted to ketosis or the carnivore diet, they don't need to keep taking electrolytes because they're having a lot of salt or their body's gotten used to eating this way. But for people transitioning, it can be a real struggle, and the way you might know that you need to get more electrolytes is you do feel fatigued all the time. You might feel sick in your stomach. You might even have some muscle aches or pain in your chest. For my husband and I, we were having like muscle aches and muscular aches like around this area, and at first we honestly thought like, are we having a heart attack? Is this bad for us? But we just did our research and we took electrolytes, and you know what? It fixed it. Neither of us have had any of those issues since we prioritize quality electrolytes. I will link the ones that we use below. We've noticed a huge difference between these electrolytes and some of the other ones we've tried, like the cheaper ones. The cheap ones did not do anything. So I would say, if you can't get your hands on the electrolytes that we use, you can always just add Redmond's salt to water and add a little bit of lemon and maybe like a drop of stevia or something in there. We're not relying on stevia or sweeteners, but in order to get the electrolytes in, if you can't tolerate the taste of salt water, consider doing that to make it taste a little bit better. And with Redmond's salt, that salt is also going to be higher quality because it doesn't have the minerals stripped out of it. It doesn't have any potential like harmful things in the salt that a lot of our regular table salt has. So I'll also link that in the description below as well. And my last tip would be to see this way of eating as an experiment rather than a final destination. Because if you're seeing this as a be-all end-all to you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to heal something, or you're like putting all this expectation on this one variable to fix everything, you could be disappointed. A lot of people find this way of eating to be super successful for them for all of those things that I just mentioned, but you may not see results as fast as other people. Seeing this as more of an experiment kind of eliminates the comparison aspect and allows you to just have more grace for yourself and say, oh, like I feel better having a little bit more salt when I'm doing this, or I feel better doing a little bit less fat. And you kind of have to play around with things. For me, I honestly notice results pretty fast into this, and a lot can change because we're only like a third-ish to a halfway done, but I noticed a huge change in my skin. I haven't had any cystic acne since we've started this, and these are all just scars. I purposefully didn't wear any makeup on for this except for some lip balm because I wanted to show you guys like what my skin actually is looking like. This is just a random thing. I never get breakouts here, but it's not cystic, and these are all just leftover scars that I have. I've been amazed by that. I also haven't had any BO, which is weird. Like, I haven't had to use deodorant. I still sweat, but it does not smell. And even though one of my goals was not to lose body fat for this, I did lose 30 pounds of water weight within the first 3 to 4 days, and I've maintained my body weight. I haven't done a scan yet to see what my body fat to lean muscle mass ratio is, but I'm going to do that in the next few days, and I will definitely keep you guys updated if I did gain muscle from eating this way. I also did blood work before I did this, and I'm going to do blood work a month after to see how it affected me. So I won't really know that until later on, but I just say all this. You may not experience those same things. You may experience results faster, you may experience it slower, but from what I've heard, it does take anywhere from a week to 8 weeks even to see results. So just make sure that you are patient with it. And again, it's going to depend on your goals and why you're doing this in the first place. My goal wasn't to lose weight. I'm happy with the way I am. It was mainly just an internal thing, like I mentioned previously. Those are all the tips that I have for you guys today / my experience and results, but I'm sure there will be more later on. Before you judge this or before you think, oh, this is like so bad for your health, I would encourage you just to check out the links that I've listed below, the resources that I went to kind of figure out if this was healthy at all and to figure out if it was right for me. Definitely look at those before you post any kind of rude or mean or judgmental comments. If you do, I'm just gonna delete them. So yes, I'm here to support you guys. I'm here to help you guys and share my experience. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video with my final results.